If you haven't heard of Edinburgh-stationed studio Build a Rocket Boy, you will have at least undoubtedly be familiar with the game's director at its helm. Leslie Benzies spent most of his career at Rockstar, overseeing the production of their world-dominating titles, household names like Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto V. Splintering off to form his own enterprise with a handful of Rockstar defectors in tow, Build a Rocket Boy is gearing up to release its first standalone title. MindsEye is an action-adventure thriller, and given the pedigree of the team behind its creation, and of course the sheer look of the thing, the comparisons with that open-world series are undeniable. Dust-hewn streets of a modern city, themes of crime, greed, and corruption, likable protagonists who strut the fine line between earnest freedom fighters and murderous reprobates. On paper, MindsEye and Grand Theft Auto V are incredibly alike, but as the studios themselves would prefer, resting on this comparison alone does Build a Rocket Boy's game a disservice. MindsEye is not a GTA copycat. It presents its own spin on the genre. It combines a tight narrative design with free-flowing action sequences and presents its prescient topics in a serious tone, sharper than any of GTA's satirical edges. The game follows amnesiac Jacob Diaz, a former soldier with a neural implant, who takes a trip to the near-future metropolis of Redrock, a hotbed of blue-chip investment, to search for clues that'll regain his memory while discovering the origins of his life-ruining skull-implanted microchip. Along the way, he becomes embroiled in a government who's evidently a little too cozy with the city's fully automated robotic law enforcers and their nefarious tech mogul leader hell-bent on changing the course of human evolution. The game's story trailer begins with the proclamation a scientist has discovered a paradox, and thus the iRobot comparisons begin. And the association with Will Smith's 2004 movie strengthens as soon as we glimpse red-lighted and presumably angry robots punching the windows of moving vehicles during one of the game's assumed to be many high-speed chases. Leslie Benzies' history as Rockstar's head honcho is omnipresent though. However, Build a Rocket Boy is slowly shaping their own identity as more detail on their upcoming projects is shared. MindsEye, together with proprietary UGC platform Arcadia and Everywhere, the MMO nestled within, Benzies himself acknowledges this journey, poetically framing the image in his rearview mirror during a recent interview at the BAFTA Game Awards, as similar to Dave Grohl's after he formed the Foo Fighters following Nirvana's dissolution. It isn't just a case of trying to do something different for the sake of distinction. Instead, time is key to forging your own path. Maybe that's why MindsEye is so reminiscent of Grand Theft Auto, or indeed any number of the high-production, future tech-tinged adventures GTA has influenced since V was unleashed on the world in 2013, Cyberpunk 2077, Watch Dogs, Detroit Become Human, etc. The Scottish team aren't trying specifically to craft experiences or tell stories beyond what interests them. If the outcome is akin to Grand Theft Auto, then so be it. The results here are cinematic and highly polished, an ultra-modern blockbuster to tide us over until Grand Theft Auto 6 launches. That said, there are distinctions here in how MindsEye presents its story. For starters, this is a comparatively short experience, clocking in at approximately 15 hours to complete the main campaign. This streamlined runtime alludes to a linear mission design, tightly structured, thoughtfully paced story delivery. Concentrating on delivering a story within the narrower constructs of linear design as opposed to, say, the self-curated discovery of open-world games is a deliberate ploy by Build a Rocket Boy to push back on the over-extravagance of AAA games in recent years. We're seeing pushback against never-ending open-worlders elsewhere in series like Assassin's Creed, but during an interview with Eurogamer, Build a Rocket Boy's assistant game director Adam Whitting is confident that the studio isn't merely chasing trends. According to him, the team has been able to curate tender story moments, tension-building episodes, and bombastic spectacle with the deftest balance. Cinematic quality is of utmost importance too, but done so in a way that feels grounded in a semblance of reality. Modern games, argues Whitting, places camera angles too often from vantages too unlike where physical real cameras can be placed, and this is where a wackiness seeps in. Games, as per Whitting in conversation with Eurogamer, are, quote, great mechanisms to tell meaningful stories. with their immersiveness coming from their interactivity and not their ungrounded cinematography. Games are losing sight of their most intrinsic characteristics. Now, whether you wholly agree on Whitting's generalized stance on modern games or not is a point of debate beyond the scope of this feature. However, his comments do speak on how we can expect to perceive our experience playing MindsEye. Like an interactive movie perhaps, or a choreographed dance with just enough improv to ensure its memorability. So what else can we expect to experience when playing MindsEye? Well, guns, of course, are aplenty. In between Diaz's flashbacks, there are numerous opportunities for him to use his military training to undertake a range of operations, from repelling ambushes to daring search and rescue missions. The over-the-shoulder perspective, when Jacob aims down the barrel of his rifle, is super close, almost like a neural implant's viewpoint, providing a compelling widescreen visage of death and destruction. There are extra tools at Jacob's disposal as well, most notably a rolled-up drone which unfolds when launched. This drone doesn't appear to be loaded with firepower, so perhaps it's a means to survey the environment before wading into battle. We do, however, see rockets and the like firing from the camera's eye view or something hovering over enemies, so it's more than likely Diaz will have the opportunity to fly something into battle as well. There will be a variety of different enemy types encountered, most notably the now rogue automated police force, whom we see in gameplay footage as firing upon our amnesiac soldier. Enemies portray a range of tactics and behaviors, so utilizing the surroundings, finding the right vantage points, and exploiting environmental tools will be crucial to gaining the edge in skirmishes. The combat here sounds a lot more in-depth than anything Grand Theft Auto has ever attempted. High-octane vehicle driving is par for the course as well, and without confirmation that Redrock's pristine public transportation system is accessible, we can assume driving will be the optimum mode of traversing the game's self-proclaimed faux open world. And despite the game's story missions being laid out in a linear fashion, we're assured that this world, sculpted by wealth, power, and artificial intelligence, is filled with unique stories, hidden perspectives, and undiscovered truths via a wealth of side content character arcs. What's most intriguing, though, is in how Build a Rocket Boy are managing to weave the city's automated systems into everyday lives of Redrock's citizens. Exploring the city's streets hopefully should reveal how the lines are blurring between government control and corporate power, which for many in the world is a grim concern in the here and now. MindsEye is launching on June 10th, 2025 for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. And given GTA 6's late 2025 release window, it'll be the perfect tonic to Vice City's agonizing wait. And that'll be about it for this one. If you guys like what we're doing at GamingBolt, please consider subscribing to our channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.